I can get no motivation. Pardon my singing and paraphrasing the Rolling Stones song. Ever felt it is hard to get out of bed, to go to work, to go exercise, or not to eat that wonderful chocolate eclair? You will be told it's all about motivation. In this video, I will show you how motivation doesn't actually exist. We'll talk about what truly makes you do or not do what matters in your life and how you can use it to get moving forward in your life. Motivated to watch? My name is Greg Angelbert. I'm a life and personal finance coach. My life purpose is to help and inspire people to live with personal agency. I share what I know about coaching and personal finance on a cup of coffee to help you live a life of purpose and build your wealth. Motivation does not exist. You're lazy, and that's okay. I'm lazy too. We all are. The simple reason for this is that we have an ingrained mechanism that makes us do as little as possible. Our brain is constantly trying to reduce the amount of energy that we're using, particularly if it's not for short-term rewards. So first, let's accept that we are all lazy, and that's completely normal. And let's see how we can overcome this laziness so we make sure that we get what we want out of our life. To help understand why I believe motivation doesn't exist, let's look at the definition of motivation that you can find in a dictionary. One of the definitions is the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. Another definition is the general desire or willingness of someone to do something. The second definition is quite dangerous because it has this general desire or willingness, which is very, very vague as a statement. The first definition nails it because it talks about the reasons we have for acting. Motivation is not an external factor coming toward us. It's not even an internal one that is magically raising out of us. The term motivation hides simply our desire to make a choice. As Yoda would say, do or do not. There is no try. We always have a choice, and when we do not do something, it's because we're choosing not to do it. We choose to do or not to do based on the underlying reasons that there is for this choice, and also the rewards that we can get from it. As part of the reasons for what we do in life, we have two things. We have the psychological needs on one side and the biological reward system on the other. Susan Fowler, in Why Motivation Doesn't Work and What Does, explains that we have three fundamental psychological needs that need to be fulfilled. Those are needs that need to be fulfilled if we want to be truly committed to what we do. The first one is autonomy, which is our human need to perceive we have choices. It is our need to feel that what we are doing is of our own volition. It is our perception that we are the source of our actions. When we exercise our need for autonomy, we build on the reward system of dopamine. That's a hormone that makes you happy while keeping you alive and alert. It is involved in motor control, cognitive function, motivation and reward system, decision making, impulse control, memory and attention, maternal and reproductive behaviors. Our second psychological need is relatedness, which is our need to care about and be cared about by others. It is our need to feel connected to others without concerns about ulterior motives. It is our need to feel that we are contributing to something greater than ourselves. When we exercise our need for relatedness, we build on the reward system of oxytocin. Oxytocin promotes bonding and trust. It helps regulate stress responses and calms the nervous system. It's produced in response to touch, eye contact, or sometimes stress. Also depends a lot on your gut flora and what you eat. The third psychological need is competence, which is our need to feel effective at meeting everyday challenges and opportunities. It is demonstrating skill over time. It is feeling a sense of growth and flourishing. The word system of competence is dopamine to a large extent. Another type of hormone that can be triggered are endorphins, which function as painkiller. When endorphins bind to receptors of the central nervous system, dopamine is also released. Hence the endurance training highs that you can get. If your competence involves physical activities, you might get both dopamine and endorphins. You're liking this video so far, so you know what to do, and do not forget to subscribe and put the notifications on if you want to receive more content like this. Also check out in the description other videos from other YouTubers who are talking about the same concept. It's always good to check out multiple sources of information. Aligning actions, needs and rewards. Psychological needs are essential to fulfill if you want to do what you commit to. Additionally, knowing how to link the tasks that you want to do to the hormonal response that this can bring can help build a reinforcing, joyful system. Imagine there is a task that you would like to commit to. Let's say it's going to be 15 minutes of exercise per day, 5 days a week. Ask yourself those questions. Is it fully my choice to do so, or it is really pushed by others or external factors? How would I change an external factor into my own choice? If I cannot get autonomy, what are my other options? I have this routine of doing 15 to 20 minute exercise every day, 5 days a week. And what I get out of it is a sense of satisfaction. And this sense of satisfaction is dopamine kick in action. And my brain keeps a memory of this, which makes me more keen to do it the day after. Using the same example of the 15 minutes exercise per day, ask yourself those questions. How do you connect this activity to other people, other groups? How does this link to the bigger goal of the person that you want to become? Going to a gym or doing shared classes with others is a good example of relatedness with that activity. And you will get that great kick of oxytocin from a relatedness to something bigger in your life. For me, I want to be as active and healthy as possible until the very last moment in my life. And this exercise routine really participates in that life goal. Finally, for competency, use the same 15-minute exercise routine and ask yourself those questions. What are you going to learn through this activity? How will it demonstrate to others what you have learned and achieved? I have learned lots about my body and many types of exercises throughout the years. And it gives me a true sense of competence when I think about it. I don't feel like I need a trainer anymore. And that helps save quite a lot of money. The bottom line is you can take any task that you're struggling with and pass it through ARC, autonomy, relatedness, and competency, that X-ray of ARC. And you can also link every one of those tasks with a good reward system. Let's talk about the blockers and enablers to making our own choices. Our life is essentially the stories that we tell ourselves. And here you have a choice. You can whether tell yourself negative, helpless stories, or you can tell yourself positive, empowering stories. For those stories to be potent, they need to be believable to you, and they need to be inspiring hope. When you get into doing something, particularly if it's about studying or training, do you get into it with a desire to avoid failure, or do you get with a desire to succeed? This has a major impact on the outlook that you give to the task. And for that, you can use the alignment to autonomy, relatedness, and competence to get moving. Sometimes to fully commit to something, you will need to give up the comfort in which you are. So you might have to abandon a situation in which you are to make sure that you're going to be 100% committed to this new reality, this new task that you're going for. That is the burn the house concept. The problem we have with procrastination is that we tend to bring a pleasurable activity, let's say watching TV or playing some games or etc., to that procrastination. This trains our brain to actually assimilate procrastination with pleasure and those feel-good hormones we talked about. So stop doing that. If you want to procrastinate, then make it as boring as possible until you're bored silly. Build the environment that will support the tasks that you want to undertake. If I want to reduce the amount of sugar that I eat, it's probably a good idea that I would remove as much sugar from the house as possible, sweets, etc. Which, come to think of it, I've not done, so I still eat too much sugar. A lot of the pleasure hormones that I've talked about are actually produced in the gut, or the process is coming from the gut, which means that the type of food that you eat can have a big impact on your reward system. So research the foods which are helping your reward system and the hormones level in your body. Keep doing things. During the pandemic, you might have noticed that it was harder to get going, to do things in the morning, to get going. And one of the reasons for that is that the less we do, the less we're likely to do. Because when we do, we get actually a kick of dopamine. So the less we do, the less we get a kick, the less our system is used to it. So do more, get more kick of dopamine, so you will want to do more. Having life goals is a great way to create a lot of potential relatedness to any task that you have in your life. So check out the video here and here where I explain how you can build powerful life goals for yourself. And because there is nothing better than routines and habits to get this frequent dopamine kick about completing tasks, then make sure that you learn how to build good routines and habits. And if you want to learn about that, you can check here and here. I explain the way to link goals and routines together and make them powerful. Finally, with those goals and routines and habits, make sure that you track your achievements, your progress. This is a way of enforcing the dopamine kick, as when we're fully conscious of what we achieve, the way we're progressing, we make it more likely that our body will answer with a dopamine kick. The bottom line is that motivation is all about choice. It's all about the personal agency that you have in your life. And remember that every action that you take is a vote for the person that you want to be. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week on a cup of coffee for more personal finance and coaching.